with the new schedule and stuff like that. And we're embarking on our second project. So I'm kind of leaving the rest of the semester focused on that. I know some of you are also working on finishing up your scholarship stuff or your Apply Texas stuff or your FAFSA. But I think most people have that stuff done. So let's look at this week's updates. FYI, this is a B week. So Friday is B, and you only have 2 formatives this week then. Also, the new hybrid schedule is beginning today because there are students on campus starting today. Not very many. I only saw about 8 in the cafeteria, but mainly the people who don't have reliable connectivity, and or people who have failed 2 or more of their core classes, and obviously they need to catch up and get some special focus. And then next week they're adding, I think, the sophomores and the juniors to that who are failing 2 or more classes. Of course, those people don't have to come. They can still stay on virtual if they want to. That's a choice thing. But of the people who want to come, those are the people who are allowed. And then after next week, let me go to this schedule that's down here that I sent out. After next week, which would be the there's a Friday the 13th next week. The following week, so that would be the 16th. That week, anybody who on their survey put that they wanted to do hybrid can come to campus on the 16th. And this schedule will be changing. This schedule is only for this week and next week. So let's look and see what's different about it. Maybe they already went over it with you at the beginning of the day today. But if you have questions, you can ask me. So the schedule is pretty much the same if your third period teacher has first lunch. They're keeping the periods still on the small side. And if you have lunch first period, which I have lunch first period both days, then the schedule is pretty much the same. Where it comes in to be a problem is if your third period teacher has, maybe on the B day, your third period teacher has second lunch. And that means you would follow this schedule over here. So if your third period teacher on B hasn't communicated that with you yet, you can either wait until tomorrow or maybe you drop them an email or something, but we all know what our lunches are at this point. So they should be able to tell you. So if you show up tomorrow to your third period at 11:45, you're going to be 40 minutes late. I don't know if people bug you about that, but it'd probably be almost over. Because the other difference in the schedule is that now you are supposed to go to class every day except Friday, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you're supposed to be following this schedule. I'm going to bend that a little bit just because this is not one of the mainstream traditional classes. And I think that y'all are learning more autonomously than some other classes that need more guidance every other day. But you can see that on each class period, there's a synchronous, the first 45 minutes is synchronous, and then the last 45 minutes is asynchronous. So what's going to happen Monday through Thursday, technically, is that you'll meet with every class Monday through Thursday, and the first 45 minutes will be a lesson or whatever the instructor does, and then the last 45 minutes will be on your own. So they're taking away that Wednesday, Thursday that you used to have asynchronous, and so some teachers may require you to show up 2 days a week for those 45 minutes. I'm not going to do that. We're just working on our project. I mean, if you've got a point to make and you want to have class on Wednesdays at this time for 45 minutes, then you can speak up or send me an email and let me know, make an argument, support it with details and facts. I think that it's not necessary, and I don't want to take your time to try to come up with something to do on that day when I know that it's more important that you work on your project, and that's pretty much it at this point. So do y'all have thoughts and feelings about that? Am I on target with that or no? Yes, okay. Anybody else want to weigh in? Anybody on the chat want to say something about that? So what that means is that technically on Wednesdays, we're supposed to meet during this time, but we're not going to. If you want to have a Zoom call and talk about your project, we can set it up for Wednesday, or we can set it up for the after school time or whatever. I'm glad to meet with you on that. But I just don't think it's necessary to take 45 minutes on Wednesdays. If you think I'm jipping you out of your education, or, you know, like in some way not doing my full job, then you can report me to my supervisor or send me an email and I will register your complaint. Okay? Okay. Like, move on,
There
miss.
are
You
no
know we don't want to
complaints
meet.
here.
Everybody's
No
okay with
complaints.
that? Yeah. I just feel like if I had to meet with you on Wednesdays, I'd have to make up something for us to do, and we already have a formative. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't like that we're doing all this stuff in an isolated way, but that's just how it is. So I don't have to add to it by making extra assignments for no reason. Okay, you can download a picture of that. I think I tweeted it also if you're on my Twitter. By the way, you do not have to follow, you don't have to have a Twitter account to look at other Twitter accounts that are public, by the way. You can just look at them. You can look at them on the web. Some people there was a question last week about, or maybe it's today, about Twitter. Today's formative is about looking at the FAFSA Twitter page. And some people were like, well, I don't have Twitter. I had to get Twitter just to do this assignment. And I'm like, you don't really need to. FAFSA is a public entity. Last thing, this is the last week of the second 6 weeks. So this is the week to double check with your teachers in case you have something missing. I'm sure that you check your grades once a week like you're supposed to in your grade books in the portal. But in case you have something outstanding or, you know, some issue, you might want to get that cleared up this week. By the way, most of us, well, I don't want to say most of us, I usually have my grades done, you know, sort of like going into the weekend before grades are due. I don't always post them right away, like on that Friday, but they're usually done. Most of you who were in my class last year kind of know that I'm up to speed with grades in general, but, you know, somehow the idea that grades are due on Monday has turned into the idea that you can turn in your assignments until Monday. And that is not accurate. I don't know what happened. Last 6 weeks, I had a whole bunch of people trying to send me stuff on the weekend in my dual and AP class. And I'm like, the grade's already posted. Like the 6-week grade's already there. Yeah, but I don't like it. I'm like, well, okay. That's like, you know, giving birth to a baby and then saying I don't like its head or something. You have to plan ahead. If you don't like the grade that's in the grade book 2 weeks ago, then you work on it, right? So I don't do a lot of that makeup type stuff. I'm trying to be
That was a
flexible.
harsh comparison.
Why?
Because
It was a
like with the grades,
hypothetical baby.
because like with the grades, like you can like, you know, plan them out and all that stuff, but with the baby you don't plan out how they're gonna look like. I mean, if they have a big head, like they're gonna have a big head, you can't change it.
That's exactly the metaphor, because if you try to have your baby the same day that my grades are due, if you're trying to do something with your grade, too late. The baby's been born. Like the grade is already there. You know, what am I supposed to do at that point? I don't know, but I got a couple of emails from parents too who are like, well, I understand that your grades are due on Monday. I'm like, well, yeah, but I posted them on Friday, so doesn't mean I'm turning everything in last minute. I'm not a last minute type person generally. Sorry if you didn't like my metaphor, but you know,
It was funny.
you can't put that baby back in there and you know its head's gonna get better. Okay, where are we? Assignments. This week you have 2 formatives, one for today and one on Wednesday, and then that's it. Also on Wednesday, your proposal is due. So make sure that you've been thinking about your project. I want to take a minute and migrate over to Menti for a second. Oh, wait. I have to hit the present button. I want you to put in some ideas that you have for the topic of your project. Here on menti.com, there's a code at the top there that you can use. And what I want to do is, maybe you already know what you are going to put on your proposal, or maybe you're kind of trying to decide, but I'd like for you to put some ideas that you're thinking about for your project up on this whiteboard here, because maybe there's some people who are still trying to refine their project. I want it to be something that's useful to you. I want it to be something that, you know, you're kind of excited about looking into because it deals with your future. I don't want it to be something that you're like, I have to go work on my research project. I want it to be something that, yes, it's work, but something that is beneficial to you and interesting to you. So as you're contemplating those different topics, remember that we had this topic page. I'm going to go over to it real quick and then I'll come back to this. So you can be adding stuff on there if you want. But on the proposal assignment, remember that you should be focusing on something for your future. It can be related to college or your potential degrees or what you might study, or maybe a profession. Maybe you want to compare two of them. I put a whole bunch of examples up here on the assignment on Google Classroom. Or just think about adult life. You know, how do you, somebody put last period, how do you buy a car? What are the steps to buying a car? Making sure that you can afford that, and, you know, credit ratings and stuff like that. There is an assignment page, but it's the same assignment page as the first project. If you want to, you can just make a copy of this page and then, you know, just sort of like take out, you know, put a little paragraph in there and do the thing that's there and take out this stuff as you work through it. Or you can write up your own, but it does need to have all of these parts. Some people were sort of like freewheeling it with the first one, and they lost a lot of points because they maybe only wrote a paragraph about what they wanted to study and didn't have all these elements. So I want to make sure that you go through and think about all these elements. Audience, now this topic is something that you're choosing because you're thinking it's going to be a part of your future life or some aspect of your life in the future. But that doesn't mean that other people aren't looking at the same thing. So your audience obviously is going to be you. You're going to learn a lot through the project that you create for yourself, but also there could be other people that are looking to see what's the difference between, you know, chemical engineering and structural engineering or whatever. So make sure that you do have an audience. Obviously, the first audience is yourself, because this is a topic that you're interested in about your future. But go through and do each one of these. This is not accurate. We can talk about due dates. Do you already have a syllabus from all your classes with all your projects and stuff and when they're going to be due at the end of the semester? Or are they kind of giving you stuff as they go?
Giving us stuff as they go.
It's like kind of like both.
Half and
Like
half.
some have dates already, but some don't.
I'm just worried that that last week is going to be a big week for exams if you have dual classes, or, you know what I mean? So I'm toying around with the idea of changing that date. We can talk about it, but it's going to be the end of the semester. So you've got 3 weeks in November and then like 2 weeks in December. We can talk about it. I was thinking of moving the deadline into the Christmas break. My grades aren't due until January 5th. But then I don't want you to feel like you have to sit there and work on your assignment during Christmas break. You know what I mean? Like if you have a deadline, you're just going to push it off, but then you're going to be spending 4, 5, 6 days of your Christmas break working on it. So I kind of want to have the due date maybe early. So I don't know, gather some intel and some information for me so that I can make a good due date for you. You know, look and see when your exams are going to be, which classes are going to have exams. Maybe it's on the syllabus or whatever. We can talk about it next week. But
Why
maybe
don't
better.
we do what we did last year?
What do you
Like
mean?
remember last year for our class, what we did is that we turned in our essay that was due I think it was on the Saturday of when winter break started, and then we could have the rest of the winter break like for free, like free. We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
that's
think
what we
that we
did.
go on a Friday though. I think that you're off on
Well, Yeah. My like final exams are on the 7th and 9th of December.
This week right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we go on break on the 18th is a work day. So you're done on the 17th. So we could make the due date the 18th or the 19th.
Not my birthday.
Well, you can turn it in early. You could turn it in tomorrow if you want. Well, don't turn it in tomorrow because you have to do the proposal first. Or I could go ahead and make an early due date like on the 5th. And then that way we're pretty much done. There's no exam in this class.
Kind of sad you don't have my birthday on your calendar, but okay, it's fine. I'll just cry in the
Okay, do you
corner.
want me to put it? Do you have my birthday on your calendar?
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, okay. All right. I see how it is.
Okay, I'll put yours if you put mine.
All right, I will. You have
Okay.
to tell me which one it is. Is it the 18th?
It's 19.
The
19.
19th. Well, I'll make the
I'm gonna
19th
be
the due date
18.
for everybody, and your due date will be on the 18th.
Okay. Yeah.
You can have the due date the day before. Here, I'm gonna put it on here. The 19th. There. Should we make it a Zoom meeting? No.
Oh my god.
She's like, no, please no.
Okay, let me go put yours.
It's not my dream to Zoom with my teacher on my birthday, right? There, you're right there. Anyway, we'll talk about it next week, but that's what I'm thinking. You all can give me some feedback and let me know. Where was I? I'll put 17th for now, but it's probably going to change to the 19th or something. Or if people need extensions, etc. Let's go over here and see if anybody posted anything. Oh, okay. What are some ideas you have for the topic of your project? I like to see what people are going to do, plus then you can maybe help somebody out. Stuff about minors, like why minor in Spanish? What can that do for you? Okay, that's a good one. Different types of social workers, yes. Because if you're looking for a social work degree, then you might want to know that ahead of time. Affordable meals to save money in college. Oh, you could like study up on recipes. That's a good one. Also think about in college, you might, if you're going away, you might have limited cooking like contraptions. Maybe you probably won't have a stove, you know what I mean? Pencil. So how do you cook stuff in the microwave and not just eat ramen noodles all the time? Ramen noodles are very fattening, by the way. People are freaking out, but they are. Okay, so project about the nursing programs at UTRGV, that's good. Yeah, that's good. You can interview people. This morning they were talking about a lot of affective things like how to deal with culture shock if you're going to school outside the valley. That's a real thing, by the way. Maybe you would want to interview some people who went away to school up in, Dallas or Denton or El Paso or somewhere, There are a lot of differences in culture elements to consider. Differences and similarities between a zoologist and a veterinarian. Okay. Yeah, so you could look and see degree plans. Sometimes it's about the pathway. Look and see what are the classes that you would have to take if you went one route, and then you can even see the description of the classes. You can look up degree plans, and then you can go, they'll have their catalog right online for whatever college you're looking at, and you can just look and read the descriptions of all the courses that you would have to take, or whatever courses that you would have to take for that degree, and see which one has the courses that interest you more, maybe. Because if the courses don't interest you, then probably the career is not going to interest you, right? Like if you don't like learning about a certain thing, you're probably not going to like doing that thing. What are the requirements to become an automotive engineer? Okay, yeah. Not everything is degree based, right? Sometimes you have to have the degree plus some certification or some additional training. So what does it take? And some people don't realize that there are some degrees where you cannot do the job with a bachelor's degree. They don't hire people unless they have an advanced degree in a field. So it's kind of good to know that. I would hate for you to start your program and then find out that it doesn't terminate in a job and you need to do a master's degree in order to do that job. How to adopt, okay. And what a high band director does on a daily basis. You're not supposed to be high when you're teaching. I think you meant high school, right? It's against the rules. I know. Yeah, so like it's different thing when you, I mean, like obviously you know what teachers do because you see them in the classroom all the time, but any job has its desk paperwork requirements, things that you might not know, right? Things that just don't come into play. You don't understand, you know, what happens at faculty meetings, or, you know, what are the requirements for different aspects of the job. So any job is like that. Yeah, you should definitely think of that option too. You could put any job into that category. Yeah, so if you're struggling to narrow down your topic, then, you know, if you're filling out this proposal and you're having trouble filling in information on these different topics, then you're probably not narrowing down enough to start your project, because the proposal does two things. It informs me what you plan to do your research on, but it also helps you kind of get started on narrowing down what you really want to research. So it has those two goals. So you just have to do a little bit more thinking and a little bit more work if you're having trouble filling in some of these sections. Remember that your end result does not have to be a research paper. I put a whole bunch of things over on the Google Classroom that you could try. Pick the one that, you know, works with your topic and how you want to present information to other people. But what I tried to do was give a link to the online resource, and then in a lot of places I also included a tutorial to help you in case that's a new thing for you. But there are lots of different ideas. You have to pick the one that meshes with your information that you're getting in your topic. But you don't have to just do a paper if you don't want to. It's up to you. There's some freedom there in your end result. And then this should not be education reform. This should be the personal topic project. All right, so any other questions about the proposal? That one is due on Wednesday. All right, there are some example questions that you could go off of here also. So that one is due on Wednesday. You don't have to wait for me to approve it to get started on it. You can do some preliminary research, but I'll probably look at them, you know, before the weekend or on Saturday. So I'll get back to you pretty quickly. And that way, if there's an issue, I can let you know. But most people, I think, are going to go in a good direction. A lot of directions came from our conference that we had. So I may have another conference with you maybe the first week of December just to see how you're doing with your project. We might do that again. But I want to give you a chance to work on it first. Let's see if there's anything else over here in the topic share. Nothing else. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it for this week. We have the formatives and the proposal. I don't intend to add other assignments over these weeks. I feel like we're getting a lot of interesting things taken care of on formative. So I'm trying to give you stuff about FAFSA and inspirations and, you know, kind of mix up college type stuff. So hopefully that's been helpful for you. I know it takes a little chunk out of your day, but I'm not making other assignments for class, so I'm hoping that it balances out. I think that's just about it. Anybody have a question or anything you want me to talk about? No?
Miss, I checked the formative right now and it says the one due on Wednesday is due tonight also. I don't know if it just says that.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it says November 2nd.
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and fix it as soon as we sign off.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for telling me. It's hard to keep all the moving parts going sometimes. We all make mistakes. It's okay.
Yeah, I double checked. This is the same thing.
Okay, I'll go to it in a minute and fix it up. But thanks for letting me know. All right, if that's it for today, then I didn't even hit the 45 minutes today, but it's because we have a project, so we're supposed to go to 12:30, but we're 15 minutes early. I don't think anybody's gonna mind. Anybody mind? No. Okay, well, if something comes up, communicate with me. If you have a question, I'm glad to help you or find out for you. Other than that, I will see you next Monday. Same time, same station. Bye.
Bye, Miss. Thank you.
Bye, Miss.
Bye, have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Jacob, did you have a question?